Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatihi لما أغلق وقاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقدار العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل الصلاة وتم تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن أهل السادة التابعين علماء عاملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مقلديهم إلا يوم الدين أما بعد. الحمد لله رب العالمين. This is another. This is class 3 of Umdat'l Bayaan. Umdat'l Bayaan class. The supporting explanation of the sciences upon the science of obligatory upon every individual. And tonight I'm going over the second part, Ilm al-Fiqh or Ilm al-Sharia, the science of jurisprudence. And the beginning, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start, everyone who's watching on Facebook, please share the video. Please hit the like button or the heart button or the care button. Everyone who's watching on YouTube, please like the video, share, and subscribe to the channels, the Tajdeed al-Sunnah channel and the Ustad Muhammad Abdullah al-Maliki channel. The science of jurisprudence. It is obligatory upon every responsible person to know as much as of this science as he must to perform it. He must know it well. It is obligatory. The class we're going over the classifications of water, purifications with water, ma'u ta'ir, hadath wa kabath. Pure water absolutely eliminates ritual impurity. Ritual impurities are hadath, and it removes that which is judged as khabath, which is judged as filth. Also, it's just to add, also ma'u ta'ir bi nafsihi bi ghayrihi, is that water, pure water, is pure in itself, and it makes other things pure. For example, you take a jug of water, right? And in that jug of water, you put some Kool-Aid in it, or you put some lemon in it, or you put anything in it that will change its color and its taste. And what that does, it turns the water the color of whatever it is that you have put in there, whether it's pure or impure. What is meant by binafsihi bighayrihi, that is pure in itself. So if you take more water and you pour water in that jug and just let the water run in that jug, after some time, what made the water change color is going to turn the water back to its original color, which is clear. All right, so it is that which applies to the name water itself without qualifications, and which is not altered in its color, taste, and smell by anything that would usually alter it by pure things or impure things. Pure water is not impaired by that which is in proximity to it, right? So which is in proximity to it, like for example, You have um, some water here, and you have something that's that will be considered filth or be considered clean next to it. It won't alter, right? Even even if that is even if the water is impacted by grease, by the smell of tar, the container of a traveler, by something which grows out of it, or by something at its bottom, like salt or sand, right? Now, pure things, the category of pure things that will be in water, that will still make the water still pure. It's like the pure things are dead things that have no blood, right? There's no blood in these things, like marine life, even when its life upon the land has been extensive. For example, like uh, amphibian, they live in water and they live on land, right? That animals which have been properly slaughtered, or its contents, except that which is forbidden to eat: wool, the hair of camels and goats, the down of feathers and hair. If it is hair from the pig, it is considered pure as long as it is detached from the pig. Once it is detached, is considered pure. This is talking about a pig that is living, not a pig that is dead. If a pig is dead and its hair is detached from it, then the hair is impure. Inanimate beings, and it is a lifeless body which has been separated from it, except that which intoxicate. A living being with its tears, sweat, saliva, nasal mucus, and eggs, even when he has eaten that which is impure, with the exception of rotten flesh and what comes out after death. What comes out after death? Anyone who has ever washed the body, prepared a body for a janaza, before you actually begin the washing of the body and giving it its wudu and its ghusl, you have to make sure that any excess urine, any excess bowels, any excess bowels are out of the body, so that when you begin the washing, is last his last the mates, the dead person's last wudu and last ghusl, these things will not exit out of the body while you're doing the washing, right? So normally, how you would do that, if it's a man, then a family member like his son or his brother, they will make sure there's no excess urine in his in his genitals, right? And they will massage the stomach in a circular motion, in a circular motion, to make sure that all of the bowels pass, right? And from the exercising and massaging, the bowels will smoothly pass through, and then you begin the washing. However, this class is not about how to perform the prepare a body for the janaza, but I'm using that as an example, as it relates in this portion about what comes out of the body after death. Also, human milk, with the exception of the milk of a deceased, right? The milk of any other thing follows the judgment of its meat. So meaning that if any milk comes out of a woman's breast while she's deceased, then that has to be, you know what I'm saying, that has to be washed. But milk come out, that's najis. But milk come out of a woman who's a breastfeeding, then it's pure. All right. The urine and feces of permissible creatures, except that which feeds on that which is impure, what feeds on the jasa. Vomit, which has not been altered from foodstuff, red bile, film, the gallbladder of a permissible being, a permissible thing. Yes, I didn't see. Uh, yeah, the eggs are the eggs. What is mentioned from eggs is talking about eggs that come out of a like a chicken or something that is live, a living being with its, as it mentions, with it, a living being with its tears, sweat, saliva, nasal mucus, and eggs, even when he has eaten that which is impure, with the exception of rotten flesh. You know what I'm saying? So it's talking about the talking about a living being. All right. So to continue, um, blood which has not been shed, musk and the sack, the musk and the sack from the musk sack, farm produce fertilized by impure things, farm produce fertilized by impure things, wine which has become vinegar, or which has acidified, which, you know what I'm saying, what is talking about, farm produce fertilized by impure things, talking about fertilize like fertilizing the ground that you're growing your fruits and vegetables from dung, from something that is najas, from like cow dung or horse dung. Um, that, you know what I'm saying, that is from that is the impure thing it's talking about. Now wine is impure as camera, as hammer, but when it becomes vinegar or anything that has acidified, meaning that once the wine becomes vinegar, then it's in a pure state, right? Something that acidifies means something acidifies after time, right? So things that are impure things, the impure things, and the najis are the exceptions to everything that was mentioned above, that I had just mentioned. The dead of other than what was mentioned, that which is not distinguished from being alive or dead, sperm, prosthetic fluid, pus, mucus, uh, spilt blood, black bowels, the ash and smoke of an impure thing, urine, human feces, for muharram, forbidden things, and reprehensible things, makruh things. Right now, the thing, what is excused from these is that which is difficult to remove. Like for example, impurity of impurity of a consistent discharge. Like for example, uh, someone who has multiple sclerosis, right? To where they don't have control of like hole in their urine, right? So they would have to like wear a depends or something to not urinate on themselves. So then, you know what I'm saying, this individual, when if they're Muslim, every time they have to pray, they have to change that, and they have to clean themselves. They have to clean themselves and put on another depends, and then make their salah. They have to do this every time, right? This is what is meant by a consistent discharge. The clothes of a woman who is breastfeeding, like for example, a woman who is breastfeeding. Normally, when a woman is breastfeeding, they have, um, I know, like my ex-wife and my current wife, she, so when she breastfeeds, she would have these pads to where she would, the pads would catch any excess milk, right? So that it wouldn't, it wouldn't get on to her clothes or to her bra, whatever. So she excused the same. You know what I'm saying? She would have her same judgment is that she would have to each time make fresh wudu, change them pads, put a new clean pad on there, and then pray, right? And her body, if she has made every effort to avert the infant's urine. Now the thing with the infant urine, with infant urine, it varies from girls and boys, right? For if it's a girl, then she, you know what I'm saying, she would have to take the same precaution. However, if it's a boy and the boy is only being given breast milk, all right, say for example, as it relates to a boy urine, a girl urine, if she's been given breast milk, only breast milk for the suckling of 2 years, her urine is still impure, right? Her urine is still impure because other things that the female body does go through, you know what I'm saying, still exist in that little girl. So when her she, you know what I'm saying, her urine is still impure. But a boy who's only has been fed breast milk for suckling of 2 years, their urine is tahir, their urine is pure up until they're 10 years of age. So a boy who's only been fed breast milk for 2 years, not formula, not breast milk and formula, not breast milk and food. You know what I mean? That, you know what I'm saying? They only been fed breast milk. You know what I mean? That the it's enough nutrition in the one in the woman's body who breastfeeds to be sufficient for that child. Now, like my daughter, she's 5 now, but my daughter, my second to the youngest, she breastfed for 2 straight years, and she was trying to make it a third one. She was trying to go into a third one, but by that time, my youngest was born. Right, my youngest was born, and she breastfed a little. She took formula a little, right, but one is my 5-year old now. She was like she always was trying to be on the boob. I ain't gonna say disrespectful. She was so rude that she used to go by sisters or women, and if she can't smell the milk, then she would say, "Oh, you don't have, that's not a boob. You don't have a boob." And they'd be like, "No, that I have a boob." She was like, "There's no milk in it. You don't have a boob." So she was like real reckless. I mean, mashallah. You know what I'm saying? She was real reckless. So, you know what I'm saying? After my youngest was like maybe a little bit, I think she was like 6 months. Then my other daughter, my 5-year old, she stopped wanting breast milk. All right, so uh, she has to avert the infant's urine, blood, vomit, and pus, which is less than the coin. So, and the coin that is mentioned in here The coin is talking about the size of a coin of a quarter, right? Blood that is less than a quarter, right? Or blood that's a quarter, that, you know what I'm saying, this is excused. Vomit, pus, right? The traces of a fly which has landed on human feces, the lower hem of the woman's garment that extends to cover the whole body. That's why when you know what I'm saying, men, we have to uh we have to make the libas come above the ankles, right? But the woman's garment, it can trail because her whole body has to be covered, her feet covered. So if the woman's overgarment or outer garment, it trails, or if jilbab, it trails a little bit, it's so that her aura cannot be seen, because the woman's aura is the whole body. Her whole body is the aura, and what is permissible for her to show is her face and hands around around mahram, non-marriageable non-marriageable relatives. She could show her face and her hands, or when she offered a prayer, right? Um, and the traces of a sore which has not yet been cured, right? So you have a scar and it's healing and it's not bleeding. All right, you know what I'm saying? This is excused. All right, on on relieving oneself, right? When relieving oneself, it is forbidden to relieve oneself while sitting upon the earth, directly on the earth. It is forbidden to relieve oneself upon soft earth that is damp from impurities. It is forbidden to relieve oneself while facing the Qibla, or while one's back is to the Qibla, right? Except while inside of a building. Like for example, inside buildings, many of the toilets, many of the toilets uh, are are facing the Qibla. Many of the toilets are facing the Qibla in most buildings, right? The only ones that are not facing the Qibla are the ones who are constructed so that they are not facing the Qibla, or the back is not towards the Qibla. However, except for inside a building, it's safe. You know what I mean? It's excused. Also, in relieving oneself, if you cannot squat, because the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to relieve yourself while squatting, right? There's a Sahih hadith where, and it's in Sahih Bukhari, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stood by a past trial of a trash pile of a nation of people, and he urinated while standing, right? Now, there's two explanations and two meanings of this hadith. One meaning is that the Prophet ﷺ had obtained an injury in his leg from a battle, from a ghazwa, and he could not squat. Another meaning of this hadith is that by this being a trash pile of a nation of people, the Prophet ﷺ, he stood while urinated because he did not want to squat and splash in the jasa onto his izar, right? It is obligatory wajib to free oneself of urine by first squeezing the penis and then shaking it slightly. Also, I want to add to this, and this is not in the text. Also, a part of um, freeing oneself from urine is also a cough, a slight cough, and then squeeze and milk the penis and shake it to the excess water out of it. Once you clean oneself, uh, istijmar with uh with clean oneself of feces, istijmar by using 3 stones or the like, and the last one must be completely free of filth. So what we have here, many, the type of stones that are used to clean oneself with, they're not readily found, and it's also permissible to clean oneself with a leaf or with toilet paper. And with the toilet paper, it's not permissible to clean oneself with baby wipes. I don't care what kind of wipes they are. It's not permissible to clean yourself with wipes, because there's uh, um, on the baby wipes is still impure things that are in the ingredients of the baby wipes. So you would have to use toilet paper, right? Don't wet the toilet paper, right? Don't wet the toilet paper. Dry toilet paper. You mean to make it stitch mar, right? And you wipe with the toilet paper and wipe and wipe and wipe until it went with the last 2 times you wipe is no feces on the toilet paper. So everybody don't it doesn't matter how big your rectum your bottom is, right? Everyone don't need to clean themselves with a whole roll of toilet paper, right? So you only need just enough toilet paper for you to wipe 3 times, then wipe 3 times again, then wipe 3 times again until the last 3 times you wipe there's no feces seen visible on the toilet paper. And then after that point, it is permissible to clean oneself of feces with any pure, clean, dry thing, which is not harmful, right? You can also make istinja by cleaning yourself with water also, but um, you clean yourself with water after you use the toilet paper, right? The clean dry things, which is not harmful, uh, foul, damp, impure, smooth, sharp food stuff, something with writing on it, right, upon it, gold, silver, the wall, dry dung of riding beasts and bones. When the objective being used can thoroughly remove all body waste, then it is permissible to use it, like the hand or less than 3 stones, right? So um, I'm going to go on to the next section, and this section is the obligations of wudu and its sunnah, right? The obligations, the fara'id of wudu are 7 in the Maliki school, right? In this text is 7. In another text it may be 9. Another text it may be 8. Uh, but in this text is 7, right? First is the niyyah, the intention, right? The second is washing the entire face. The third is washing the hands up to the elbows. The fourth is wiping over the entire head. The fifth is washing the feet up to the ankles. The sixth is rubbing each body part. And the seventh is continuity. Continuity means that when you wash one part, when you wash one body part, you continue to wash the next one. You don't take a break. You don't take a break. And in the fara'id are the same things that I mentioned in the ayat related to wudu, except for rubbing and continuity and the niyyah, right? The the next is the sunan of wudu, which are 8, right? One, the one first sunnah is washing the hands to the wrist at the beginning, right? It's a sunnah, right? The second is rinsing out the mouth. The third, sniffing up water in the nose. The fourth is blowing the water out. The fifth is bringing the hands back to the front when wiping the head. The sixth is wiping the exterior and interior of the ears. And the seventh is taking fresh water for wiping the ears. And the eighth, following the correct order of the obligations. Now, I wanted to add, right? I wanted to add that in wiping the entire head the head starts where the hairline starts, and you wipe it from the front to the back, right? And the sunnah is bringing the hands back to the front and wiping the head. If, for example, I got a bald head, fresh baldy today, which I was getting my hijama done tomorrow. I'll put a couple of cups on the head. You mean to take the blood out of the head that's clogging the arteries, right? So with me, when I make wudu, I just have to wipe from front to the back. If I want to, I can bring it back to the front just to keep the sunnah. But if you know what I'm saying, if I don't want to, then wiping one time will be sufficient, right? Now, the other thing I wanted to add is that when you make wudu and you make your intention for your wudu and you perform in the fard and the sunnah, and you don't leave out neither one, because with the fard and the sunnahs of the wudu, it's a complete wudu, right? When you wash the hands up to the wrist at the beginning 3 times, this is however, this is sunnah, but the wudu doesn't start there. The wudu starts once you rinse out the mouth and rinse out the nose. You make your niyyah in the beginning, or if you miss the niyyah in the beginning, you make your niyyah before you wash the face, right? I wanted to add that. Also, for women and men who have locks or braids, right? That when you wipe the head, you make sure that you wipe the whole head and the braid and the lock. So when you bring your wipe your head to the back, wipe your head to the back, and then once you bring it back to the front, if it's locks, you make sure your wet hands go over the whole lock, right? If it's braids, and you make sure your wet hands go over the whole braids, right? Just wiping. You're not making ghusl, so you don't have to. The water does not have to touch the scalp. And ghusl, it has to touch the scalp. If you're, I want to add this too, right? Even though you know what I'm saying, it may be some Shafis watching, but with in Shafi'i fiqh, in regards to washing the head, you could wash a portion of the head, or with the wet hands touch a portion of the head, and you know what I'm saying, you have wudu. I can be corrected. You know what I mean, I can be corrected. Allah knows best. Now, things that break the wudu are in two parts. Now, there you have ritual impurities that breaks the wudu, ahadath, and causes asbab, right? As for the ritual impurities, they are five, right? Three are from the penis, the prostatic fluid, semen, and urine. Two are from the anus, feces, and wind. As for the cause of ritual impurities, they are sleep, which has four divisions, right? Sleep has four divisions. A long and heavy sleep is what breaks the wudu. A short and heavy sleep, it breaks the wudu. A short and light sleep does not break the wudu. A long and light sleep, it doesn't break the wudu, but it's recommended to do wudu, right? After a long light sleep. Because the reason why it's recommended to do the wudu, because at one portion of that light sleep it could have been heavy. So it's recommended to make wudu, right? Also, among the causes that break the wudu are insanity, loss of intelligence through insanity, fainting, right? And intoxication, drinking or smoking weed or whatever intoxication, the mind being befogged. An individual, when they get this, when they come to out of that state, they have to make wudu. Wudu is also broken by apostasy, right? Someone apostates from Islam and they come back into Islam, they don't have to make a ghusl, right? They don't have to make a ghusl. They only have to make wudu, right? It breaks the wudu. And then they make the prayer, make what they have missed, the prayers that they have missed. The other thing about apostasy is that when an individual apostates, everything that is obligatory for the Muslim is still obligatory for the apostate. So when an individual that apostate from Islam, when they come back into Islam, they have to make up all the prayers that they missed. They have to make up and make up the fast and pay a kafara for the fast that they missed, because it was still obligatory on them. And if they had made Hajj and Umrah and fought jihad and all of this stuff, they have to do all of that over again. Because when an individual apostates, they do not come back the same way that they left. It was some Sahaba that apostated after the death of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they followed Musaylima, the liar, the false prophet. They followed him. Those who returned to Islam, them Sahaba that returned to Islam, that did not get killed by the Muslims in that state, when they came back into Islam, they came back as tabi'een. They didn't come back as Sahaba, right? The sixth is having doubt concerning ritual impurity, except consistent problem of emission from the anus or the urethra, right? Touching the penis with the inner palm, the inner of the palm or fingers, even if it is with one finger, when it is touched. The white part, the inner side of the palm, the inner palm, or the side of the finger, uh, it touched from this part. If the top, if the darker side or the outside of the finger touch, then you still touch the private part. You still have wudu, right? 8, by touching a woman, right? This has 4 parts. This has 4 parts. All right. if the person, if the brother, if the person intends pleasure and he experiences pleasure, he must make wudu, right? If he intends pleasure and he experience it, he has to make wudu. If he experienced pleasure when he did not intend it, he has to make wudu. If he intends pleasure and does not experience it, he has to make he must make wudu. And if he does not intend pleasure and he does not experience it, he does not have to make wudu. One of the a while back, me and one of the brothers had had a discussion about this very thing, and the brother, he had mentioned another text, right? He had mentioned another text. It was he mentioned a primary Maliki text, uh, and it's called the Murshid El Mu'in of Ibn Ashur. However, what I just mentioned in Umdat'l Bayaan, the same thing is in Ibn Ashur, right? The same thing is in Ibn Ashur, right? So when he showed it to me, I when he showed it to me and sent it to me, I was like, that let me know he haven't really practiced his fiqh well. I said, no, I've been doing this for a minute. This means I explained it the exact same way as it is explained in the Umdat'l Bayaan, right? So when I got him, when he really listened to what I was saying, mashallah, you know, he caught on. So it is not a sin to leave off a sunnah, but it's less rewarding. Meaning that you won't get rewarded for doing you didn't do that sunnah. You won't get punished for not doing it. But if you trying to follow, if you're trying to uh stick to the sunnah, then you won't leave off that sunnah. I mean, it's not a sin to leave it off, but it's more rewarding if you implement it, if you practice it, right? So I wouldn't advise anyone to leave off a sunnah, you know what I'm saying, or leave off a sunnah, even if you're if you're feeling too tired to even implement it. Just force yourself to implement it and to get the reward. I remember one time, me and the brother, um, this was this was in 2000. It was in 2011. We was in Detroit in the summertime in August, right? We was in Detroit. We was doing a festival, selling our merch at a festival. It was the Rib and Jazz Festival in Detroit, in downtown Detroit, right near the water, across near the lake, across from Canada. So my teacher, Sheikh Hamza Makbal Chaudhry, he had said, look, I know y'all traveling, y'all doing a show. Still pray Taraweeh and still try to keep your fast. So I mean, we broke the fast, but we still prayed Taraweeh. You know, we prayed 20 rakats. So the brother who was with me, he prayed with me, but he only prayed 8 rakats. In the Maliki school, when you start an ibadah, you have to complete it. So if we complete, we doing 20 rakats, we have to complete 20 rakats. So to keep he was like to keep the barakah following the sunnah. You know what I'm saying? Try to force yourself to do it, right? So this is what I recommend, what I strongly recommend. All right. So also to continue, wudu is also broken by 9 the inconsistency of urine for a short time. The inconsistency of urine for a short time. It is not broken by the emission of small pebbles and plastic worms, even if they are moist. Right? Touching the anus, the female or male testicles does not have to make wudu. Meaning that if you touch the scrotum sac, the testicles, with the open palm, you don't have to make wudu, right? If the woman she touch the lips, right? If she touch her lips, she doesn't have to make wudu, right? Nor and it said nor does a woman touching her private parts, although it is said that if she fondles them, she must make wudu. You know what I'm saying? She must make wudu because it breaks it, right? Now, the obligations of ghusl. And the next section, tayammum. I'm gonna just complete this section. Complete for the acts of tahara, the obligation of ghusl and the sunnahs. The obligation of ghusl are 5. One is the niyyah, the intention. 2 is covering the entire body with water. 3 is continuity. 4 is wiping the entire body. And 5, saturate the hair with water. Meaning saturate the hair with water, that the water goes through the entire head, is wet, and it hits the scalp. The sunnah of ghusl are 5. Beginning with washing the hands up to the wrist, rinsing out the mouth, sniffing water in the nose, and wiping the earlobes are 4. I'm sorry. It's a 4. And wiping the earlobes. This also includes it also includes the beard for men. His beard must be saturated with water, right? As for the person with braids, it has to be stated that the unraveling of the braided hair is not necessary. To take your braids down is not necessary for one to do, according to some hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? Meaning that, and when it's talking about braided hair, is also talking about locks, right? Not dreads, not dreadlocks, because locks and dreadlocks are 2 different things. Locks is that the hair. My daughter has locks, right? And my wife has locks. Each individual lock, it has its own section of hair that is locked, right? That just has to be saturated with water, right? You don't have to unravel it, right? And the water reaches the scalp. Okay. Braids, whether it's French braids, however the braids are, it has to be saturated with water. You don't have to take them apart. Okay. Um, Locks. I mean, dreads is hair that's locked up, that's matted together with other locks, right? And to like say one lock is matted together with 4 other locks, and it is matted together where it forms one whole lock, one whole dread, right? Or a whole portion of the head is a dread and is locked together, right? And is matted together. You know what I'm saying? This type of this type of dreads, this would be considered to consider to where you would have to unravel it. So you would have to get that redone, get it done, or cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be hard for the water to penetrate it, right? And then Some people have. I've been around dreads. You know what I'm saying? When I say dreads, I'm talking about Jamaicans, and their dreads are so matted together that it stink, right? You know what I'm saying? They'd have to cut them joints off. I mean, and redo it and redo them into locks. All right. The obligations of Tayammum and the Sunnah. The obligations of Tayammum are five. One is the intention. Two is pure earth. Three is wiping the face. Four is wiping the hands up to the elbows. And five, the first strike of the earth. Right. The Sunnah of Tayammum is the second strike. One is the second strike of the earth is three. The Sunnah of Tayammum are three. Right. First one is the second strike of the earth. Right. For wiping the hands. And two, wiping what is between the wrists and the elbows. And three, the proper order. So the fart is what is mentioned above. You wipe the face, right? And you wipe the hands up to the wrist, right? And then and striking the earth, right? It's the you strike the earth. The first strike the earth in the beginning after you make the make the attention and find pure earth. The second strike of the earth is the wiping the hands, and two, wiping what is between the wrist and the elbow, and in its proper order, making tayammum over wounds. Right? It is if it is feared to wash a wound, it should then be wiped and mended. Uh, then uh, then the bandage reapplied. So if the wound is open, you have to wipe and then you have to mend the wound, right? If you try to close it, then reapply the bandage. That is when it is healthy and causes no real harm, right? If wiping the wound will cause some harm to it, then it's obligatory to make tayammum, because you're not supposed to get sick, right? You shouldn't. You're not supposed to kill yourself. You know, so you could possibly die, depending on the wound. Like if it's a wound and your head is wounded, or anything of the like, right? If the wound is very small, like on the hand, it is permitted to wash it, and if this wash is not possible, then wipe it. If there's a small wound on the limb, there are four opinions concerning it. Wudu is absolutely necessary. Tayammum is absolutely necessary. Three, tayammum is necessary if the wounds are many. And four, to join together the wudu and tayammum, which is the most prudent, right? Which is most prudent. Uh, and someone had asked, what about nosebleeds? All right, nosebleed. You have to stop. You have to try your best to stop the nose from bleeding. Right, you have to try your best to stop the nose from bleeding. If you know what I'm saying, if you can't stop the nose from bleeding, you would still have to pray. So it means you have to probably stop it from bleeding and put something in your nose that the blood will not come through, right? And then continue. If the bandage is pulled off in order to apply medicine, or it falls down, even in prayer, he should return it and wipe it if it is healthy, he should wash it. It's section on menstruation, on Haid. Uh, Haid, uh, Haid menstruation is yellowish or peach colored blood that that issues by itself from the front of the woman that normally occurs even if only a quantity flows out at once. The maximum period for the woman having her very first mens is 15 days. The minimum period of purity for the woman who has a normal menstrual cycle is 15 days as well, right? So the maximum indicating the mens cannot exceed this length of time. So if for the first 15 days that's of bleeding, that's the menstrual cycle. If she bleeds for one more day or two more days or three more days, 15 after 15 days, and she bleeds 10 more days, which is 25 days, this exceeding time is an illness. I wanted to add that the minimum indicating the miss cannot be considered a true miss if the woman has not been without a miss for the time period of 15 days. Right. So um for example, say for example, the woman, she bleeds and she only bleeds a little like 4 days, right? The fifth day she may be clean, right? And say that, you know what I'm saying, she checked the sixth day, she's still clean. All right, so this woman, she's continued. The next day she's clean. She starts back praying, but she does not make up the days that she was bleeding. Follow me? The the uh the time period of 15 days. Say for example, she bleeds 3 days or 4 days. She don't bleed the fifth. She don't bleed the sixth, but she bleeds the seventh. Right. So from the seventh day up to the 15 days, within the 15 days, that, you know what I'm saying, she doesn't pray. After that 15 days, she's clean. She prays, right? She prays, and she prays until she has a mens again. Now it varies due to women's condition. Some women, they may take what's their birth control depot shot, right? Which, you know, so some women they take depot, they they may not come on their cycle for like 30 days, right? Or they may not bleed at all. Then this woman, right? Her cycle is irregular, and then one time she may bleed for like 45 days straight, right? So the first 15 days is Haid. After them 15 days, the 16th day, she got to prepare a dressing and she got to start back praying, because at that point it's not a Haid. If she that next 15 days, she got to pray, right? And say for the 15 days after that, and she's still bleeding, then she stopped praying for 15 days, right? Because the Haid, the maximum period of the Haid of the menstrual cycle is 15 days. So after that, she has to start back praying. There's no such thing as a woman bleeding a whole year and she does not pray because she's bleeding. All of that time is not menstrual cycle. It's irregular bleeding. It's irregular bleeding. It's a medical condition. So she has to pray. I don't care if you don't feel comfortable with praying. You got to pray. You have to start back praying, right? So say for example, a woman does not know that, right? A woman does not know that. Once she learns, once she knows, then she has to start from there, right? She has to start from there because it's about certainty. Once you know, then you have to start implementing. You have to start implementing, right? So in a case like that, her ignorance can be excused. The woman whose mens hasn't exceeded 15 days, but it comes to an end before its normal time or exceeds its normal time period. She must add 3 days, take precaution of her maximum period. Like someone who had asked, what if she, I just answered the question, what I just mentioned. Someone asked, what if her mens is only 2 days? This is the answer. This is the answer. If a woman whose mens hasn't exceeded 15 days, but it comes to an end before its normal time, which is 15 days. That's the normal time, the maximum or the minimum. And it comes to end at 2 days, then is normal time period. She must add 3 days. So she bleed for 2 days. She add 3 days, that days taking precaution of her maximum period. Then she is acknowledged as purified, right? For so then she starts praying. As for the pregnant woman, the maximum period is 20 days. Normally, some women they never come on a cycle while they're pregnant, and some women they do. The first trimester, second trimester, they have normal bleeding, and then the third trimester they doesn't have any bleeding anymore. So in that period is 20 days. Is what occurs before 3 days, like what occurs after 3 days, or is like the regular mens, right? There are two opinions. Kaulan, meaning there are two sound positions on this issue, right? Indeed, purity is interrupted if the bleeding stops. The days are considered to be false menstruation based on its description, right? After her days of false menstruation and the days of taking precaution, the woman should bathe as soon as all it cease. As soon as all of her bleeding cease, she must make ghusl. She can then continue fasting, praying, and enjoying intercourse, right? And enjoying intercourse. She is pure with the dryness or with the final discharge. She should wait for the discharge at the end of the specific time. The woman having an irregular menstrual cycle, she does not have to see if she is pure before dawn, only at the time of sleep and at the time of the soup prayer, right? The soup prayer is the father prayer in the morning, right? Menstruation prevents the soundness uh, of the prayer with its obligations, fasting with its obligation, divorce, the initiation of the waiting period, iddah, vaginal intercourse, or fondling below the waist wrap. Even after the blood has cleared from washing with water, tayammum, entering the masjid, and touching the Quran, but not reciting it. All right. The section on uh, lochia, nifas, right? Nifas is the blood which issues as a result of childbirth, wilada, and its maximum period is 60 days, 2 months. That's the maximum period. Then it stops. It prevents the same things that menstruation prevents, and wudu is obligatory with the withholding of blood in contrast to the opinion of Ibn Rushd. Ibn Rushd. The with the maximum period of 60 days, some some women their bleeding stops, their lucida nifas stops at 40 days, right? At 40 days, and it does not continue. It does not continue. Some it may stop at 40 days or 50 days, stop for a day, then it continues. Once it stops, the lucida, the nifas, that period is over. What comes the next blood after 3 days, then they bleed again. That's the first. That's their first. That's their first haid after that, right? So I'm gonna subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika wa arhamar rahim wa salatu wa salam ala rasulil kareem. Ameen. Uh, if I made a mistake, please forgive me. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah ta'ala forgive me. And anything that I said that was correct according to the text and the additions, the explanations that I give from my understanding. May Allah Ta'ala, you know what I'm saying, reward me and bless me and increase me in ilm that is beneficial. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase everyone who is participating and listening to the dars, reward you for your patience and your sacrifice and your attentiveness, because and bearing with me patiently in my delivery of transmitting this text. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of y'all. I know it's hard. It's cold outside. It's cold in here where I'm at too. But mashallah, it's not really that bad. I guess sometimes I have seal skin. So, but alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, you know, may Allah ta'ala reward everyone. Next week, next Thursday, inshallah, I'm gonna try to start promptly at 8:30. All right, I'm gonna try to start promptly at 8:30. I was a little bit delayed, a few minutes today. Next week, I'm gonna get into go over the section of the prayer, times of the prayer, the walk to the muqtar of the prayer, and then go into the section on the prayer, and inshallah, I want to be finished with this text by the time Ramadan comes in. We got like maybe like 53 days or 54 days till Ramadan reaches us. May Allah Ta'ala bless all of us to reach Ramadan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us to increase our good deeds and avoid sins in this sacred month of Rajab. This is also my birthday month. This is also my birthday month on the Hijra calendar, the 22nd of Rajab. I'll be 53. Yes, I'm still a young man. I'm just not a young buck no more, but I'm still a young man though. The ripe young age of 53 years old, Hijra. Right, so, but mashallah, may Allah Ta'ala give us the ability to increase our ibadah, give sadaqah, make some nawafil salah, make some nawafil fasting, fast 10 days, fast 6 days, fast 15 days. You know what I'm saying? As much fasting as possible. And make a lot of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the things that you want and that you need. And pray that Allah ta'ala give everyone the ability to read the Quran, to establish a connection with the Quran, right? And provide us an opening through our reading and recitation of the Quran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم آمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقدار العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.